All right, just getting this going. Hey, this is What's Up, Dave. This is Dave. This is my daily stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet, talk about what's going on. Hey, right now I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm going to go down to the North Shore of Boston to hang out with a friend on his birthday. We're going to watch Bladerunner, the theatrical cut, because this is a movie that he grew up with, watching hundreds of times until he wore out the VHS tape that it was on. And he hasn't seen the new Blade Runner 2049, but we're going to plan to see that sometime in IMAX, which would be amazing, sometime later this week. He can't do it today, although today is his birthday, because it'll be too late to go see it. But yeah, so that'd be something exciting to look forward to. But anyway, what am I talking about today? Let me just make sure that I have sound here. Okay, that looks like it's working, so good. So what's going on today? According to my list, there's a few things that are on my mind. Let me just switch over to this view so I can see what's here. What's going on? Well, this week is like I finally got done with that server move. I did it all over the weekend. This was stressing me out last week because, well, a server move is a big pain in the butt. You've got to move all the sites over, and you need to make sure everything is working, and I was doing it by myself. Originally, the plan was to have Rackspace do it for us, but given the timing being too tight for the professional service department, and their cloud offering not offering the Plesk control panel, which I thought it did, but it doesn't apparently, I ended up moving it my damn self. So I think it's all moved over. We just need to coordinate to arrange for switching over DNS services to point to the mirror server, making sure that the mirror server is working, so other people are testing that for me, and then switching it all back. And so this all has to happen like over the weekend. For now, at least that part is off my plate, and I can do some light testing on some auxiliary stuff that isn't quite as important. But all the data seems to be there, all seems to be moved over. If it all freaking documented, so if I had to do it again, it'll take much less time. So yeah, and so after I got that done, some other things, I finished the game Nier Automata, which is a, I guess you could call it an action story console style game. I bought it for PC on Steam, and it's amazing. There's like, I finished what they call Route E, which is the final real ending for it, and it was so moving. I was like weeping through the whole thing. Oh, it's still like it still feels so sad. It's like a melancholy androids, humans, machines, intelligence, purpose. What is the meaning of existence game that's stylish and fast-paced, and like it hits some of the most inventive interactive storytelling I've ever experienced. And that's saying a lot, I think, because I've been playing games for a long time, and previously the only game that I can think of that came close to moving me in this way was maybe a game called Planetfall back in the 80s. Which was like a text adventure game, but there was a sequence at the end that was like just so moving, in which like you're trying to tell this robot not to do something, and the robot won't do it because the robot is there because your robot is your buddy. And I was just astonished at that time that a text adventure, and if you don't know what that is, it's actually like a game in which there's no graphics, it's only text, and there's a computer program that responds to your inputs when you're literally typing in things. Pick up the bottle, look inside the bottle, and then the computer is like telling you, inside the bottle you see this, and there's a number of verbs you can type in and do with a very limited parser, explore a world and see a story unfold that way. But it never occurred to me that a computer could make me feel things. This was, I was like maybe 12 or 13 or something like at the time. And computers weren't the marvelous machines that they were today. They were very austere boxes that could display 40 columns of text in 24 lines, you know. But this is, since then, everything has been like building upon the old, a lot of like existing interactive tropes. So you have the idea that you can shoot things, you have the idea that you can move through a space, A lot of the same mechanisms have been repurposed. Before we just had 2D and then it went to 3D, but largely the storytelling was the same. For a brief time, there was the idea that movies could imbue video games. And in the 90s, we had the idea of CD-ROM games, in which basically these were just movies that were chopped up into small bits. So as you clicked on different things, you'd see different bits of the movie play out. And it was interesting in its own way, but the real games for me, is something that's a generated world in real time, in which it's reacting to you in real time and you to it. And Nier Automata is an excellent example of a game that does that actually somehow manages to combine tropes from the past 20 years into something that's a genuinely moving story, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm impressed on multiple levels. So let's see, what else is there going on? There's a story that I could tell about the nail polish. I was buying some stuff at AC Moore, which is a craft store, and someone happened to just, like, the checkout girl actually said, "Oh, I like your nails." And so no one ever said that to me before, so I went, I'm trying some new colors, and then I just paid for it and checked out. And then only afterwards I realized that was when I was supposed to go, and then we were supposed to talk about them, I think. Like, I showed off the nails, and we would talk, it's this color, it's like, the way, like, you see, in the movie, and, like, when girls are talking to each other. So I missed out on an opportunity to try a whole new style of interaction. So next time, if it ever happens again, I'll be ready. I'll be ready for to just kind of gush over colors and stuff like that. That should be fun. What else is going on? I have about 6 minutes before I had to leave. This is interesting. So I only see behind me. There's this big pile of, like, stuff. Let's look at that. So as I mentioned, as some of you may know, I sell these products on Amazon that are based on my design work for time tracking stuff. One of the most popular ones is something called the Emergent Task Planner. And they've been selling fairly well for the past, 7 odd years. And I thought I would expand the number of things I had for sale, because more products makes more revenue. If there's more revenue, then more money comes in. And then if I have enough money, then maybe I can spend all my time making stuff, selling it, and cashing checks. And that would be great, right? Unfortunately, like, my big push into expanding the products this year, I thought I made what would be a limited run of things. And the limited run, I think I'll just make 100 of each of these 4 different kinds of SKUs. And they'll probably sell through, like, in about a year or something like this. And I was very wrong about that. So what ends up happening is that if you have stuff sitting in Amazon's warehouses too long, they start charging you more money for it, especially in the holiday winter time. So right now we're getting toward the time of the year when people are buying, or, like, everyone's rushing to sell stuff on Amazon. So warehouse space becomes is at a premium, and they charge triple the rate to store stuff. So with this stuff behind me, it's been not selling very quickly. And this is maybe because I haven't done a good job at just telling people that I'm doing it. I have all this stuff here now. So, no, this is going to work. So there are all this stuff over here. These are 75 pad. These are the new version 4 Emergent Task Planner pads. And I haven't actually updated the listing to actually say that they're new. And I haven't promoted them. A few people know about these, but I'm sure they've forgotten. These are some of the old SKUs, the newer SKUs. These are the older design, but these are pre-punched pads of... So I thought, like, well, maybe people will buy the loose leaf ones, and they can make their own notebooks out of it. But I haven't really done a good job promoting those either. These boxes are ones I still haven't finished unpacking. So, like, this is like an unpunched version of it. It's one of these. So I had to figure out something to do with these. I had to, like, have these taken out of the warehouse at my own cost to save some money for it. So I'm probably going to lose money on that run now. But if I can somehow repackage it into something that's, maybe this will force me to make the instruction sheets or the instruction booklet that I've never made for these things, and then sell them as kits, or I can do wholesale, sell them on my Shopify website, which is pretty much unused right now except for digital goods. I think that this will force me to do it, because now it's in my living room and I can't see anything. So it's just being there haunting me might be a good thing, even though it's, you know, kind of sad and annoying that like I did such a bad job at doing that. But you know, the point was to do this exploratory marketing run. I now know that 100 units of product is probably way too many. I should have done 10 products each and just stuffed them in there and then marketed the hell out of them. So that opens up, instead of using offset printing, which is what I did for this, which is much cheaper per unit, to do the test marketing, next time I'm going to do print on demand. And although the per unit cost will be much more expensive, I can test demand for it at least, knowing that the price per unit will drop considerably if they're popular enough to justify a full offset press run. So, expensive lesson learned. Oh well. Let's see. What else is going on? Server moves, those are return products, Nier Automata. Oh, I guess the last thing is that I've been going on another baked bean, or another bean kick. So the diet I'm on right now is slow carb. Slow carb is that you're eating a very limited number of foods that don't have a high glycemic index. That is, your body doesn't respond to eating these foods with a big push of insulin. Which is good because I am type 2 diabetic, apparently. My doctor finally said, "Oh, this medicine you're taking, you're not pre-diabetic. You actually are diabetic." And says, "Why didn't you tell me?" You know, it's one of those kind of things. It's based on Tim Ferriss's slow carb post that I saw fairly recently, and so I've switched to this from the Atkins diet, which is sort of similar in concept in that you're not eating a lot of carbs. So there's no sugar, there's no bread, there's no starches. There are green vegetables, lots of protein and fat. That's all right. In the Atkins diet, you are allowed to eat like a certain number of so-called net carbs. That is like the number of carbohydrates minus the fiber and any sugar alcohols. So because these do not contribute to a rise in blood sugar. But you still can't eat starches. You still can't eat bread. You still can't eat grains and stuff like that. So slow carb has a little bit different mix. You're allowed to eat legumes. You're allowed to eat beans. So there's like a list of 4 categories. The first category is a protein, which can be egg whites. Or chicken breasts, chicken thigh, or grass-fed beef or pork. Category 2 is you can eat lentils, pinto beans, or black beans. I guess there's only 3. The third category is vegetables. You can eat peas, spinach, asparagus, and something else that I forget. That's my poached chicken going up. So you eat a meal made from one of each of those things, and you can eat as much of that as you want. Of course, the faster you want to lose weight, the more you want to eat less, I think. But surprisingly, I'm finding that this very limited diet, is actually quite satisfying for me, and I actually don't need to eat a lot of it, and my head is clearer. The one thing that I'm not doing very well right now is you're supposed to eat protein as soon as you wake up in the morning, so your body will get moving on this stuff. I've kind of cut out the exercise for now because I was like handling this server move and stuff. And I haven't been drinking enough water. Both the Atkins diet and the slow carb diet requires you to drink quite a lot of water for this whole fat burning process to work. You know, the goal of these diets are to shift your body from metabolism from seeking carbohydrates and burning those, and converting stored fat into the fuel that your body uses to run. So, you know, that's what it is. I'm gonna kind of cheat today and have some birthday cake, but before I go, I'm gonna have some of these beans, and that's about as much time as I have for today. I didn't get into the planning, but tomorrow I'll get into that. I think now that this server move stuff is kind of moving on by itself, there's some light testing I need to do, but I can get back to working on my website stuff. As I said in my Groundhog Day resolutions last week, I think, really the 2 bottlenecks are getting my new website up so I can start expressing some of these thoughts, and this is having a website that I like writing on and reporting on is like a big part of my, I was going to say media strategy, but that's not. I just want to be able to express myself, and I can't do it, I think, really well on my current website. On top of that, I need to transition that server as well, so I can start doing stuff. And then the other thing is just knocking out some of these other projects, like the marketing stuff for these things back here, and just getting ready for my dad to pop up in November. So that's it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow, maybe we'll do some actual planning, but that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good evening. Noink. Oh, perfect timing.